So the question I just got is that BnkToTheFuture.com is full of KYC and AML processes and compliance and documents. And what do we think is the future of that compared to decentralized exchanges that do no KYC, have no AML process, and don't have to comply with laws? The answer is that there is a two-tiered market, and I think both of them are important. The regulated market allows people that identify themselves and institutions that identify themselves and entities that identify themselves to be able to onboard into the crypto market in a way that may not necessarily protect their privacy, because governments have an agenda, and that is to do anti-money laundering and consumer protections, and therefore you have securities laws and money laundering laws and all sorts of things that we had to spend years and years and years and much money over the time to actually comply with. And whether you believe in that process or not, we have to comply with them, and we have to respect that that's how a centralized company works. It allows people to be onboarded, and it allows people to participate. At the very same time, we often invest in some decentralized companies that are doing new innovative things that allow people to actually go peer-to-peer. And in many of our traditional things, we like the peer-to-peer market as well, and we look to support that industry. I believe that having a very innovative, decentralized market means that the regulations are kept in check, and they perform the role of regulating the regulator. And so for history, no one has regulated the regulator. And so there's always been that problem of how can you ensure that the regulator isn't corrupt? And we saw in 2008 that, sometimes the regulator can get things wrong and support industries that are very corrupt and problematic. And so by having an alternative, people get to choose the traditional markets versus the peer-to-peer markets. And that is the role that I think these decentralized exchanges and services will have in the end. They may be more convenient for consumers because they don't need to upload KYC and do all these things, and they can go peer-to-peer. But they also come at the expense of convenience, because you need to understand the technology, know how to store your own private key on a hardware wallet, know how to have two-factor authentication, personal security, unique passwords for everything you do. And with the decentralized movement becomes an added responsibility of securing your own assets. I think both are really important, and that is one of the skills of the future that everyone is going to need to have to learn and adopt. And I think it's really important to have the two side by side, and therefore we've adopted that approach at Bank to the Future. We're a centralized company. We comply. We're compliance driven. Therefore, we have to do what securities laws, anti-money laundering laws, and all these laws state is important for the government's goals. And at the same time, we're supporting the decentralized industry, and we are excited about the decentralized innovation and how that can actually regulate the regulator and produce a better financial markets all around. And so I believe that you will make your choice and you will diversify across both, or there's a reason why you might want to choose one over the other. But really the two go hand in hand, and they're a diversification against each other.